Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. If you're new here to the channel, welcome. I'm Olivia S. Benson, the S is always important, author of this book, For the Love of My Father, which is basically a book about women healing from growing up with an absent father. It is available in all forms on Amazon and in audio and all those kinds of different things. And it will soon be available on Google Books. If you're returning, thank you for coming back and for following me. By the way, we just reached 10,000 followers on Facebook, and I'm happy to know that my content is helpful, and I'm grateful for your support and for you following me. Please let your friends and family know if you find that this, or if you feel that this content will be helpful to them. And as you know, I basically speak to women about overcoming daddy issues and transforming their lives so that they can be the best version of themselves. I also speak to daddies, and particularly I like to use the word sin, which technically in its original form, which comes from the Greek, it means to miss the mark. I also like to talk, and the work that I do is directed at daddies who miss the mark. Today I want to do just hopefully a little follow-up. I can't promise, I might go a little bit longer than I expected, but a little follow-up to what I did last week, which was talking about what to do when daddy cannot walk you down the aisle, because it's a very sore and sensitive topic for many people, and I want to give you some perspective. I know that maybe nothing is going to make it better for you, but at least I can give you some things to think about. Like I said last week, when we arrive on the planet, you know, we all kind of get different circumstances. And in many cases, the circumstances that we get, the plates that we're served, the hand that we're dealt, whatever you want to call it, they're difficult, but it's what we get. And my whole understanding of life has come to the point where I understand that my job is to handle the circumstances that I was given, to manage them in the best way possible, and to use them as a tool to help me reach another level in my life. When we think about the challenges that people are facing all over the world, I mean, there's a lot of stuff, and it's just not now. Always, there have been many challenges that humans have faced, and always I like to make sure that we keep perspective, because I'm speaking about a very small slice. I'm talking to women who've grown up without fathers about the challenges. And in this particular scenario, I'm talking about how to handle the fact that daddy's not going to show up. Your biological father may not be available for whatever reason to show up to your wedding, and you're a girl, a woman, a young lady, and your dream has always been that your dad's going to walk you down the aisle. Now, to keep perspective, when you consider everything that's going on in the world, the fact that you're getting married and that you're even able to have a form of celebration is something to be grateful for. Now, I know that that might not make a lot of people feel any better, but there's something important about gratitude. Gratitude is a positive energy, and it attracts more positive energy. Likewise, and you guys have probably heard me say this before, there's a saying that I love, and it says, don't be mad at your circumstances, because it'll only make it worse. And what I'm suggesting to you is that if you're grateful for the circumstances, you will bring about more positive energy. And if you're angry at your circumstances, you will attract more angry energy or more negative energy. So in the grand scheme of things, my God, you are getting married. You have found someone who you believe is your person, and it is something to be happy about. The fact that there's a factor the fact that daddy's not going to show up as you would like is just one element. And there's a way to manage your thinking and feeling about it so that you can make the best of the occasion. Remember this, don't be mad at your circumstances. Bringing angry energy can generate attracting more angry energy. Also, another thing that's not helpful is the why is this way for me and why me? I always say this, and I say it in the book, why will not help you. It might give you some information, but the asking of why, and I always say like, okay, if people say, why me? Well, okay, if not you, who? Who else could it happen to? Do you have a candidate? Would it be better if it happened to somebody else? Your circumstances are your circumstances. And there's another thing that I wanted to throw out there, and that is the idea that, we frequently, and myself included, are not happy with what we have. And this is specifically directed at women, girls, young ladies who have stepfathers. So for example, if you have a stepfather, sometimes, and I know people who are like, yeah, but he's my stepfather. He's not my real father. Well, listen, maybe your deal this lifetime is that your stepfather, you came through another being, another biological being, but your stepfather is in fact the father that you were intended to be with. There are many people who have great relationships with their stepfathers, just like there's some who don't, and some who particularly don't accept the stepfather in the position of father. Well, sometimes we need to consider loving what we have or being happy with what we have. If you recall, in the last video I said, my dad did come to my first wedding completely unexpectedly. I had no expectations, which, by the way, manage your expectations, because I had no expectations of him coming, and somehow he ended up coming. I don't remember the exact details of the story, but he came. And I cannot say that I was disappointed, because I was in fact happy that he really had not showed up for many things, but he did show up for this. Now, the thing about it, and this is why I say it's important to manage your expectations. He and I did not have a conversation. All the issues that existed before he came continued to exist. There was no real basis for a relationship. And it was just that he came and he did the thing that he felt he was supposed to do, and then he was gone. If you have that opportunity, you might say, okay, well, fine, I'll take that. On the other hand, the idea that someone who's been absent from your life forever sort of parachutes in, does the official thing of being the father who shows up and leaves, and there's no resolution and no addressing years of absence or neglect or trauma, that is something that, you really have to think about. Because when we get married, there's some occasions that always bring a lot of emotions. Getting married, someone's passing, the birth of a child. Those occasions always have a lot of emotion attached. And if you have expectations for your dad to show up, maybe you would have expectations for him to do certain things or act in a certain way. But the truth of the matter is that unless your dad has done healing work, he's going to be the same person that he has always been. And perhaps your expectations of him showing up in this moment and being someone different, maybe you need to manage that. So these are just some additional thoughts I wanted to throw out with regards to who's walking you down the aisle, or your expectations about who's walking you down the aisle. And, I always say, if I had a stepdad who had been a stepdad, a real genuine stepdad, and he had showed up for me, maybe that would have been the person that would have, I would have chosen to walk me down the aisle. Okay, guys, As you know, I'm Olivia Benson, Olivia S. Benson. Please check out my website, oliviasbenson.com. You can buy the book there, For the Love of My Father, and you can see my other products. Also, please follow me on Facebook at author Olivia S. Benson, on Instagram, Olivia S. Benson, on X, OS Benson 1, on TikTok, on TikTok at Olivia Benson. And please share this information with someone you know who could benefit, particularly as we get ready to go into wedding season. I know this is a very emotional situation, and I am sharing with you what my experience was and the insights about different ways that you might think about it. Anyway, I hope this is helpful. I look forward to speaking to you again. And by the way, if you have some thoughts or questions about this, please feel free to send me an email. Take care. Bye. Love you.